Hi everyone,
Hi.
We are back. Welcome to episode 2 of our P&O Arvia Let's Talk Ship series. Way, we are back. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking all things food. Food, glorious food.
I think it's everybody's favourite subject, food.
It is. So what we're going to do, we're going to begin with the complimentary dining choices on board Arvia. And then we're going to go into the speciality, or the ones that incur money.
The ones you need to fork out for.
Yeah. So I think it's only fair we start with the main dining room, found all the way at the back of the ship, 2 decks high, beautiful staircase in the middle. This is the Meridian and the Zennith restaurant. The Meridian is on the lower level, the Zennith is on the top. As it happened, we only managed to dine at the Meridian, but we found the food there to be absolutely fantastic. The service was phenomenal. The dining room itself is absolutely beautiful. It really is so pretty. It's got like a lovely spiral staircase halfway through. The back has floor to ceiling, panoramic windows. It's perfect for getting those nice wake views or just sitting there and admiring your ports of call while you're having your food. Anyway, on the first night of our cruise, we went there and we had this like deep fried brie thing, which was really good. Then for mains, we both had steak, and then we didn't have pudding, but we had a cheese plate, and we did ask for some extra crackers because there wasn't a lot of crackers on this cheese plate. But they were happy to give us more, and we had some pork. And like we said, the food is phenomenal. And the staff were absolutely they were so brilliant. They were exceptional. We got talking to them. It was great, wasn't it? It was a really nice evening.
It was a really good evening, and it was quite easy to get in there as well. We've seen a lot of people say there's lots of queues and things. We eat quite late, around 8:30, 9 o'clock. So we went on the My Holiday app, which is what you use to book to get into any of the restaurants. There was about 4 people ahead of us, so we were called straight down there. Really, service was perfect.
And then we went back there again for lunch on I think it was our second to last day when we were in Barbados. We went for this really nice, it was like a tandoori style shearing plate.
Yes.
But what they did was they gave us like one each, which was lovely. And then we ordered sides of chips basically. And it was really impressed me. I was delicious. It was stunning.
You had like a sponge pudding, didn't you?
We had like a Bakewell tart sponge pudding. They poured the custard over the top. Oh, it was just delicious. so good. Anyway, moving on from the Zennith and the Meridian restaurant, the main dining rooms. To complement them, we have another dining room, which is new, which is the 6th Street Diner. Now, this is an American-themed diner restaurant. We only managed to go there for like a breakfast.
Yes. So it was open at 10 o'clock in the morning for like a brunch.
Yeah. You can have your dinner there as well, which we wish we'd done. We really do. But the breakfast, what we had, steak with eggs. You had chicken and waffles, didn't you?
Waffles. I had the American breakfast as well one morning. That was really good.
Because we went there. Did we go there twice?
3 times, I think.
But it was really
good.
But it's such a funky restaurant. I love the whole idea, the whole concept. Apparently, if you go there for your evening meal, you can go for a drink, the Miami Vice, which I do love, which is like a half pina colada, half strawberry daiquiri. And if you get this drink, which isn't included in your drinks package because it costs £10, you do get this like little pin with a little cocktail.
You can collect
different ones, and you can put it on your lanyard or your top, whatever, which I thought was kind of fun. So yeah, we really rate what we had from the 6th Street Diner, but it would have been nice to have had a dinner there. Yes. It's such a shame, but we're going to have to go back, aren't we?
And again, it's a main dining room, so it's all booked on the My Holiday app.
Yeah. And then to complement the 6th Street Diner and the Zennith and the Meridian restaurant, P&O have now opened the Olive Grove as a main dining room rather than a specialty restaurant as it is on Iona. On Iona, there are certain plates on there that are chargeable. From what we've seen, the food and what we experienced on Iona was better. I'm not going to lie. We weren't very impressed with the Olive Grove. It wasn't the worst meal we've ever had, but it was not the best. It's probably our least favourite dining experience on this cruise.
Yeah, it was another one where we went in around 8:30, 9 o'clock. We were seated next to a nice window seat, but unfortunately the service wasn't great and the food wasn't great either.
But the restaurant itself is really beautiful. It's the same sort of theme. It's Mediterranean sort of theme as it is on Iona. Very pretty restaurant. It's a lot bigger than Iona's restaurant. But yeah, just unfortunately the food just wasn't up to our liking.
The atmosphere wasn't quite as nice as the one on Iona either.
On Iona, but I think because it's not a main dining room, there's more. It's a bit more intimate and it's a bit quieter. But on here, it was very busy. It wasn't as relaxed. But for food, I mean, we had. Bear with me.
I had some like I think it was salt cod,
like
fish cakes.
Yeah, they're like these.
And then I had a carbonara for my main. I mean, what the dessert was. But it was okay food, but it was nothing special about it. It just seemed underwhelming. I think is probably the best word for it.
I know I had Italian antipasti.
I think it had cheese and meat in it.
It did. Yeah, it was meat. That's right. Yeah, it was like a little antipasti thing. It was nice. I ate it. It was good, but it just wasn't amazing. And then for my main, as I said, I had this kofti like kebab thing, which I thought was going to be like what I had before on Iona, but it wasn't. And then for pudding, I was very disappointed to not be able to have my baklava because it was on Iona and it was £2 and it was lovely. But on this, it wasn't even on the menu because everything is free. So there's nothing that's going to incur a charge. So you haven't even got the choice. So yeah, I went for this. You went for a cheesecake.
Yep.
I can remember what you had. Oh, I had this Sicilian lemon tart. That's what I had. But, I mean, that was nice. To be fair, in fairness, that was one of the only places I had a pudding on this cruise because I didn't eat many puddings. I was trying to keep slim, I was. But yeah, it wasn't awful. I wouldn't be put off by it, but it really fell below our expectations. Yeah. It wasn't the best.
I think, as I said, underwhelming is probably the best way to describe it.
Anyway, in addition to the Olive Grove, 6th Street Diner, the Zennith and Meridian main dining rooms then,
yes, we
have the Quays, which is located a deck above. And this is one of our favourites. It's a really good concept that P&O have come up with. It's convenient, it's easy. You basically have these 3 serving stations in a row. There's like plenty of seating. It's on the promenade deck pretty much. You can eat outside if you wish. You can eat inside. There's plenty of seating there. It does get quite busy sometimes. So what they do is you have your Hook, Line and Vinegar, which is like your chip shop.
Yes.
Primarily. Then you have Fusion, which is like your curries, your Asian sort of inspired cuisine. And then on the end, then you have your roast. Used to be the American, or like one on
it was the American dining
on Iona, but obviously now that's got its own restaurant. So now it's this little roast station which serves up basically everything Sunday dinnery, everything roasty. It's got roast potatoes. It's got your cauliflower cheese. So they can vary it day by day. Yep. It's got balls of stuffing, and you can get your lovely roast dinner wraps, which are made out of like Yorkshire pudding batter and rolled into a wrap. They're lovely, and you can also get a full-on plate size giant Yorkshire pudding that you put your dinner into. You can do that there. But yeah, it's great. It's ideal for breakfast. I mean, the menus do obviously change for breakfast. By breakfast,
they got an eggs area, so you can have your eggs. I went for smoked salmon and scrambled egg. Smoked salmon one morning. There's like an English breakfast area there.
Which is where the roast one is. That's where they put like your bacon. Your full English breakfast sort of ingredient or foods is there in the roast one.
And then you've got your pancakes and things like that as well.
That's what they do. They do, obviously, it's not the same for breakfast and dinner. They do change it. Yeah. But yes, and it's an ideal place to go for your breakfast as well, because we find it to be a little bit quieter than the actual buffet, the main self-serve buffet up the top.
At the end of the Quays, you've got a station where you can have your teas, your coffee.
It's basically like a really compacted version of the buffet, but just sort of squashed on the back end of the Quays. I was going there for my bread rolls. And I was getting my bacon from the roast station, and I was making a bacon butter yours. It was lovely. It was nice. So yes, that's the Quays. And then to complement that, then up by the Skydome pool, we have Taste 360.
Ooh, this was nice. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
This is like your poolside burger bar and pizzeria.
Yes.
We had a good few burgers and fries. And did you have pizza? I didn't have pizza.
Yes, I had pizza. And they do a selection of burgers, different types of burgers, chicken burgers, beef burgers, cheeseburgers,
it's
just hot dogs, sort of, and a selection of pizzas. And it can be quite busy. But depending when you go there. But we were going there after a day ashore, we'd pop in there just maybe, for a quick snack or something.
Yeah.
And it wasn't too bad, to be honest.
Yeah, we found it really convenient, and it's ideally located by the pools and all on the top deck. It's great.
You've got bar service around there as well, so it's quite handy. You can have your beer or your cocktail as well.
Yeah, and then as we mentioned before, we do have the Horizon Buffet, which is your main self-serve restaurant on the ship. It's got 2 main stations that sort of duplicate themselves, but you can get plenty of bits and pieces there, like your cakes, you can get your breakfast, and get a bit of everything. They do like a carvery. It's a bit of everything there, isn't it? So it changes all the time, so you can't tell you what's going to be there every day. But it's nice, it's varied, and it's convenient. It's on the top as well, so you can just pop out and go up to the pool and sit on the back of the ship and look out to sea.
The other thing with the Horizon Buffet is it does have the chef's table on your celebration night, which you do need to book. We didn't manage to do that because it was fully booked.
Done it.
And it's also where you'll find a chargeable dining venue, which we'll talk about in the next section.
Yeah. It's also worth noting, but unfortunately it's not been used since the pandemic, is the grab and go. Now this we've experienced on Britannia prior to the whole COVID thing, but since we've been on Iona, I think we've even been on Britannia, it's not back yet. The grab and go used to be this really handy, like a chiller, and you could just grab like a wrap or a salad bowl or like some yogurt or like
little sandwiches,
tiny little it's like basically like you get in Tesco's, like from the sandwich section. You just go in and grab a snack and off you go. Unfortunately, it's not returned to Iona or Arvia, or as far as I know, Britannia yet. So when it comes back, you'll have to drop a comment and let us know. But
there's definitely the fridges are there for it.
They're there for it, and it's on the deck plans and everything. So I'm assuming it is going to come back, and probably quite soon. I'd have thought the way things are now. So
So I think that probably concludes all the free or included dining options.
This concludes the complimentary dining offerings on board P&O Arvia. That's how you say it. And now we're going to go on to those that incur a charge.
Okay, let's go.
So, where are we going to begin, Gav?
So we're going to splash the cash.
Splash the cash.
So we're going to begin in one of our favourite venues on the P&O ship, which is the Glass House.
Yes, we do love the Glass House, and on Arvia and Iona, it's perfectly situated in the Grand Atrium, so it's ideal for people watching, taking in the views from those enormous windows on either side of the atrium itself. It's just lovely. It's got a great atmosphere. It's really, really nice.
So if you're familiar with the Glass House concept on P&O, it's all about pairing wine and food.
It's headed up by Jolly Ollie Smith.
Yes.
You may have seen him on TV. So yes, basically you can pair wine and food together. Wine tasting is available. We did see there is a room in the corner. We didn't actually manage to do it this time. We have done it on Britannia years ago, but not on Arvia or Iona.
The menu's basically the same as you'll find on Iona and Britannia. So you've got the small plates.
It was some sort of offer for 3.
So if you're fancying like a light lunch or something, you just want 3 small plates, that's ideal. That's what we did that evening. We just had 3 small plates. If you want a larger meal, you could have the 3 small plates as your starter, and then you can have your large meals, which has got steaks and things like that.
Yeah, see, we just wanted to go there on this occasion for just some light bites and a tipple of wine. That's what we wanted to go there for. I had like some sausage bean cassoulet thing and these pork dishes. I can't remember what they were off the top of my head, and I've drunk a lot since then and slept a lot since then. But it was nice, and it was the ideal amount of food for that night, because I was quite full.
And that's a good thing about the little plates. They're not too much. So we really recommend, if you have a chance to try the Glass House, do try it.
Next, we're going to go on to our newest P&O, and it is our favourite restaurant, I think. It's quite safe to say this is in itself top spot. And this is the Keel Cow, which is, again, in the Grand Atrium. It's on the top level, so you really get to good views of the Grand Atrium below, especially if they've got things like aerial shows on, which we'll talk about later. Again, nice views out to sea through those large windows. It's just a great place. There's also a bar up there as well. But yes, it's just primarily a restaurant.
It's known as the home of the Prime Minister burger, which is supposedly the best burger at sea.
Oh, it was pretty damn good though. We had the Prime Minister burger on Iona, not on Arvia, but we have experienced it on Iona and we loved it. And what we were really pleased to see this time was they do a baked cheese,
yes,
like a fondue cheese, a Tamworth cheese I think it was, and they give you some bread to dip into it.
It's camembert style cheese.
God, that is, it was heaven. Anyway, we had that as a starter, and then I had this it was like a fried crusted steak sandwich for my main.
I went for full on steak. I just went proper steak.
Couldn't eat a pudding. They do serve puddings. Their puddings are available, but couldn't physically fit in. Yeah.
But there's a different choice of steaks. There's kind of tomahawk steaks, ribeye steaks, sirloin steaks, fillet steaks.
Shearing steaks.
Yeah, there is like a menu of steaks essentially.
Yeah.
But the prices you pay per item. So the starters start from around £3.50 each there as well.
Okay.
Mains are from around £5.50 upwards, and then the sweets are from around £3.25 upwards.
It is fantastic, and honestly, we highly recommend the Keel Cow. As we said, it is our favourite now on P&O. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. This one. This is not a restaurant, this is like a counter. This is Ripples, the ice cream counter.
Oh, the ice cream.
Yes, this is our next stop, people, just off the Grand Atrium. Here, you will find all your delicious frozen snacks, ice creams, gelatos, lollipops. There's absolutely loads. The options are endless.
I think I had some kind of passion fruit ice cream.
I think that's what I had. Basically, like a
sorbet,
like a Solero is what I had.
It was very nice.
We had that on embarkation day because it was very warm. But it's ideally situated just off the prom deck as well. So you can, if you're walking around the prom deck and it's a hot sunny day or you're sunbathing, you can just pop in and grab an ice cream. As we said, it's right in the heart of the ship. It's right in the Grand Atrium. It's not included. It is chargeable. You can pay per item for your ice creams or your lollies, or it's probably by scoop as well, I think.
Yeah, you pay per scoop, so you can have 1, 2 or 3 scoops. You can have in a cone or a cup.
Yeah.
They've also got the lollies there as well, which you can buy. But it's also well known for its ice cream afternoon tea.
Which is supposed to be for...
Well, you buy an ice cream afternoon tea, which comes with 1 coffee and a tray of ice cream. So I'd say it's for 1. But it definitely feeds 2 or possibly 3 people.
There's a lot of ice cream. He didn't do it on Arvia, but you did do that on Iona. Anyway, moving on. Pretty much just down the corridor from Ripples, I believe, yes, we have Sindhu.
Another favourite of ours.
Another favourite of ours. Now, this is one of P&O's staple restaurants. Used to be headed up by Atul Kutcher, but I don't think he's
not anymore.
Not anymore. But it's now basically it's the Indian restaurant on board any P&O ship. It's the same throughout the fleet. It's all Indian inspired.
I think it's Indian fusion is what they call it.
Food is absolutely delicious. We've never had a problem with the Sindhu restaurant on any of the ships. We've always had a really good experience on all of them. But yeah, Arvia certainly didn't disappoint.
No, it was really good. This one works the same as other Sindhus. Basically, you can pre-book it for £10 per person. That £10 then comes off your bill on the evening. So if you go over your £10, you just pay what's extra, then that'll go on your onboard account. So I think we paid we were charged £27. So because we'd paid £20, we only got charged £7 on the night. Here, you pay for your items individually. Starters are from around £5.50 each. Mains are from around £9, and your sweets are around £3.50. So you can eat as much or as little as you like.
Yeah, so sometimes, let's face it, you can go to an Indian restaurant and you can just you go for your savoury, your main meals. You don't always fancy pudding, but you can do that if you want, or you can just leave it and you don't have to feel obligated to have a 3-course meal. The food is phenomenal.
Food and flavours.
Yeah, I had these little lamb cutlets for my starter, and then I went for duck. It was like a duck breast. Oh my god, it was absolutely delicious. But I didn't have a pudding. See, didn't have.
I think I went for the crab cake to start off with, and then I went for the lamb, which they did warn me could be a bit tough. But it was beautiful, it just melted in your mouth. It was so good.
So yes, we were very impressed with Sindhu this time.
Yes.
And as we said before, we've never had a bad meal at any Sindhu restaurant on any of the ships in the P&O fleet. They've all been really, really good. So that's another one we're recommending.
So we've got 3 favourites now.
Yeah, but Keel Cow is still my favourite. So now we have a new one. This is the Mizuna. I keep on going Mizuna.
It's Green & Co featuring Mizuna, which is their vegan, vegetarian restaurant, and also it's got a sushi bar in it.
Yes, what a beautiful, beautiful dining room. Honestly, it was so funky. The colours in there were so vibrant. It's all brights, basically. Very modern. And I will say this, I think if you are vegan, you're going to love it because you go in and you don't have to go through the menu deciphering or picking out which is available for you. The whole menu is suited to you. You can just eat what you want, and it's all in the comfort and knowledge of knowing that it's suitable for you.
And I think starters in here range from £3-4 onwards. Mains were about £6 onwards, and I think sweets were around £5.50 onwards, I think, or maybe a bit
The
less.
staff, the staff are extremely enthusiastic about this restaurant as well, which it's really quite refreshing to see someone so passionate about the service and everything. They're really, really knowledgeable. So anyway, they recommended a meal for us. So we had
this lovely sharing plate to begin with. Loads.
Nice.
It was really flavoursome. I really enjoyed it. You weren't too sure, were you?
I was sort of bewildered. We had this really, it was nice. We had this mock lamb Wellington was for our main. And then the pudding, I had like this funny little banana, like not moussey, it was like a bit like a panna cotta sort of caramelly thing. It was nice. Don't ask me what it was called though. And what did you have for your pudding? You had like garden mud or something.
Yeah, the garden mud.
It
looked like mushrooms, and
it was very similar to what you had in Wonderland on Anthem of the Seas, like these funny little meringue mushrooms and stuff. But anyway, what I will say is the food might not have been to my liking completely, but the flavours were very intense. It was full of flavour, like they were like very infused with like spices and herbs. It's quite intense. It was delicious, but just I don't know what it was. It just didn't. It was a bit odd. To be honest, I went to the buffet after and I had a whole chicken leg and I had like loads of beef.
So this is kind of where our opinion's slightly different. Yeah. I'd happily go back there over and over again. I think the once for you was probably enough.
I've done it. I've experienced it. It wasn't the worst meal I had on the ship by any means. It wasn't horrible, but it's just I wouldn't bother myself again. I've done it. I've experienced it. I probably wouldn't do it again. That's me.
We would like to go back and try the sushi side of things as well. We do enjoy sushi, so that'd be lovely to try.
That would be nice.
But the one thing we find a bit weird about this restaurant is being plant-based. It would be nice if this was made as instead of the olive grove, it was put downstairs as a main dining room. I think P&O might have missed a trick here. They could have really appealed to plant-based.
Because there's nothing worse if you've got relatives or even you're vegetarian yourself. You go to a restaurant, you've got to sit there looking for the little symbols, or you've got to ask, is this vegetarian or vegan? It would be nice if you could, as the concept is, go into the restaurant, pick whatever you want off the menu, not even give it a thought, and you know they're catering for you specifically. And I think this day and age, they would have been better off, as Gavin is saying, that should be complimentary. Keep the olive grove, in our opinion,
as it was,
with chargeable, and then keep it as it was, because I think that would work perfectly.
And when we say olive grove chargeable, obviously that's some items chargeable, because it is free. It's free of charge on Iona. So I think that we've covered kind of Green & Co and Mizuna enough there. Next one we've got is the Beach House,
which is located up in the Horizon restaurant, which is, as you've heard us call, the buffet. It is up there. But what they do is at certain times of the day, the evening, it closes off a section specifically for that.
Yes, so there's a specific area in the Horizon where you pay £9.50 per person to get in there. And then you've got a menu which has quite a few items which have got extra charges on top of them again. So it's a bit of a weird one. We didn't try it on this occasion.
We have tried it in the past on Azura and Oceania, but that was a few years ago and before the pandemic. So next time we go on board, we will try it out. Yes. Unfortunately, as we said, we just did not have enough time. And now last, but by no means least, we have the Epicurean. Now, we have a confession. We have not been to the Epicurean on Arvia. We could not physically fit it in. We tried dining in all the different dining venues possible, but we didn't have enough nights during our cruise. We were only on board for 7 nights, and as we've suggested or said before, we highly recommend you go on a 40-night cruise on Arvia to be able to experience the ship properly. 7 nights is not enough. Yeah. Anyway, we have experienced the Epicurean restaurant on Britannia in the past and on Iona. So we can't really say what it's like on Arvia because we've not experienced it properly, but it's the same sort of concept. It's P&O's sort of posh restaurant. Yes. It's up at the top of the ship. It's next door to the Crow's Nest. It's a beautiful venue. It makes you feel special. It gives you a sense of occasion going in. There is quite something. The food we've had in the past has been lovely, so we'd like to think that's what Arvia is like. Yep. But unfortunately, we just can't give you any feedback on Arvia specifically at this time. So if you've eaten in the Epicurean on Arvia, let us know in the comments below about how it was and what you thought of the food. And just let us know.
So it's a dining experience, by the way. So they do say you need to allow 2-3 hours for the experience. The charge for this is £30 per person. You can pre-book it or you can book it once you're on board. The other great thing about the Epicurean is they do Eric Landlad's afternoon tea there. On sea days, I believe, only. That's £17.50 per head. And we've done that before now.
We did that on Britannia.
Many years ago.
It was extremely sweet and it was very very different. It's very like I can't remember. Like, the idea behind it is to be very experimental,
Yes,
and it's like all deconstructed,
it was very
and reconstructed food. That's it's different. It was nice, very sweet from what I remember. But the thing is, we're going to have to try it again, and we will do it again at some point. It's coming, and we honestly we loved Arvia so much. We'd love to go back on. So at some point, this will all happen. So, folks, this concludes our dine-in episode on P&O Arvia. Let's Talk Ship. We hope you've liked it.
Hopefully we haven't left you too hungry.
Yeah, because that's one thing. Talking about all this food is going to make you hungry, and probably seeing all the lovely pictures we're putting up, it's going to make you feel even worse. Anyway, in the next episode, we're going to be discussing the drinks package. We're going to be talking about the bars, the lounges, and the entertainment on board. So stay tuned for that. If you haven't already, please remember to subscribe and hit the bell notification, because apparently it gives you a little thing, a ding, when our videos go up. So you won't miss it. You won't miss a thing. You'll hear that ding, and you won't miss a thing.
Avid P&O cruisers might recognise that we've missed one of the venues, which is the Limelight Club. But don't worry, we will be covering that in the next episode under entertainment.
Yes.
If we have missed anything else out, or if you've got any questions, just pop them in the comments and we'll get back to you.
Yeah. But in the meantime, everybody, stay safe, stay well. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And for now, bye.
Bye.